girls, thank you all so much for tuning back in. On today's video, I will be going over my surgery experience. So as you all know, I did go ahead and get my breast done, which is considered like a breast augmentation. And I posted on my Instagram a week back just asking if you guys had any questions. A lot of you already had questions, so I definitely wanted to make a post-op video going over just my experience, you know, my surgery center, and just answering a lot of the questions that you guys may have had. So to start off, what I will say is, like I stated before, a lot of it has to do with you doing your own research. I would never suggest for you to go to who I went just because of my results. Everyone is different. Every doctor is different. So if I could give any piece of advice, it would definitely be doing your own research and finding a doctor that is good for what you want. Some people may want a BBL. Some people may want a tummy tuck. So my doctor, which was Dr. Jacob FREIMAN, he is double board certified, which means that he has a specialty degree in plastic surgery, and I'm pretty sure he does everything. However, he is the master of breasts. So that is why I chose Dr. FREIMAN. It was out of him and another doctor, which was Dr. Crow at CG Cosmetics. However, he did move. He had his own surgery center at that time. So I just ended up going through the process at CG Cosmetics just because I had already done my research. I was already familiar. So yes, my doctor, Dr. Jacob FREIMAN at CG Cosmetics. So a lot of you guys asked about the cost, and that is something that does vary depending on where you stay. Now, I live in Augusta, and we have maybe about 3 plastic surgery centers here. So obviously, the cost of a breast augmentation in Augusta would be way more expensive comparing it to some place like Miami. And I use the phrase like plastic surgery in Miami is like a burger. You can get it on any corner. So therefore, it is significantly cheaper. So what the cost of my surgery ended up being $4,500. I got silicone implants. However, at CG Cosmetics, they run deals all the time. So I ended up paying $3,500 out the door. But they get you because you end up having to get your surgical bra, your surgical band, your surgical compression socks, you know, and then considering I'm an out-of-state patient, so you know, I had my hotel room because I had to stay in that vicinity within 3 days after my post-op. So you consider all of those things. I think my hotel room, we stayed at the Hotel Araya at Coconut Grove, which was 15 minutes away from my surgery center. I think for the 3 days that I stayed there, we paid maybe $900. So my surgical bra, I got 2 for $50. Compression socks, that was $20. And then the surgical band, which is what you wear. It looks like this, and you wear it on top of your boobs to kind of help reduce the swelling and to help the implants settle quicker. And this itself was $30. So you add all of those things up. I haven't added it up, but I'm pretty sure it does come up to about the same thing as if I were to get it done someplace close to home. So it really, again, just depends. I am very happy with my results. I would recommend surgery to anyone. I don't have any regrets. I feel like my doctor did such a good job and gave me exactly what I wanted. And even going into my pre-op, my medical assistant, who was extremely nice, she told me that the doctor doesn't give you, not saying he doesn't let you choose, but he's not going to let a patient of my size come in and say, I want double D breast, I don't care. He's not going to do that. He's going to recommend you a size that is proportioned for your body. And that right there stood out to me to let me know that he is a good doctor, because he wouldn't do anything that would put his patient in harm's way. So aside from the doctor and the price, a lot of you guys just had questions about the process itself. Like, how do you find a surgery center? How do you find the hotels? Like, you know, it is a process, and I can't believe that I did it. I mean, I'm excited and I'm proud that I went through with it, but it's pretty scary being an out of patient or an out of state patient and having to go through those things, especially during a worldwide pandemic where you can't just go and see the doctor or go in and do the lab work or go in and ask these questions. Everything is done virtually. Everything is done by email and fax, and that would be something else that I recommend. So what I have here with me, I had a folder. I know that's probably like old school. I'm the type of person, I have to write everything down. I had a checklist. I wanted to make sure I had this, and this in order. So I had a folder. What they do is when you call to, you know, book your consultation, or if you already have a doctor in mind, I already had my doctor in mind. So when I called, the next date available for my doctor was December 22nd, which is my surgery date. So they assign you a surgery coordinator. My surgery coordinator was Claudia, and they are pretty much there just to answer any questions that you may have when it comes down to, like, you know, where do I go and get this lab done, you know, just to help you throughout the process. Obviously, being an out-of-state patient, you have a lot of questions and you don't want to get different answers from different people, so they assign you a surgery coordinator to help you throughout that process. Now, the first thing that you do when you book the date is that you have to put a deposit down, and they say they give you 14 days prior to the surgery date to pay your balance in full. However, I ended up paying it maybe like 2 months before. They're gonna call you, they're gonna say, oh, your doctor wants all his December patients to pay, you know, so they'll get you that way. So just be prepared to go ahead and pay whatever the amount is because they say they give you 14 days, but really they're gonna call you, they're gonna blindside you and say, well, your doctor wants all of his patients for the calendar month of December to go ahead and have a zero balance. So fortunately that I'm in a position I was able to take care of that. Again, just to get the ball rolling. So what they do is they send you by email once you book your surgery date. They'll send you something that looks like this. I don't know if I'm showing it. And so what this is, it pretty much just says my name, my date of birth. It has the type of surgery that I want. It has my surgery date. Here it has the surgical coordinator, which again was Claudia. And then so what is on this paper is a list of labs that are required of me to have before I can even be on the surgical table. So it is different for every different patient, I'm assuming. I mean, I don't understand. I don't think a patient who's getting a BBL will have to go and get an EKG of, you know, or they don't have to get a mammogram of their breast because they're not touching their breast. So again, it does vary by patient. I'm assuming case by case. But the labs that I had to get done, it just says CBC with differential. I had to get a pregnancy test. They wanted a blood pregnancy test. It says SMA 12, which in parentheses it says comprehensive metabolic panel. Not sure what that is. A PPT/PT, a EKG with interpretation, and a medical clearance with PMH, which is prior medical history. So you can get all of these labs done there at the surgical center. However, I would recommend going to your local primary care, your OBGYN. A lot of you know I had a baby 9 months ago, so I went to my OBGYN's office and I said, look, I'm having cosmetic surgery. I need these labs done, and she was more than happy to do that for me. So a lot of it is you can do at home on your own. Go find you a doctor's office. You can take this paper with you. It has a checklist of what they need. And it has a fax number as well where you can get it faxed over. I would recommend have your paperwork in hand because you're going to get to the surgery center and they're going to say, oh, well, we didn't receive your EKG, or we didn't receive, you know, this test. And on the paper here, and it was a shocker to me that women were actually paying this amount of money for labs that should be covered by insurance. On the paper, it says medical clearance with PMH, $200, EKG, $40, blood work with drug test is $120, COVID test is mandatory and has to be done at the surgery center, is $80. So it says the total of all of these surgical lab requirements are $440. So had you not done this on your own in your state or wherever you're from, you will end up paying an additional $440 at the surgery center just to get cleared for surgery. And getting this stuff done at my OBGYN office costs me nothing because I have insurance. So I would definitely recommend, you're having surgery, get your lab works done at home. Do not wait until pre-op day. That is going to just extend the process. My pre-op was pretty smooth. All I had to do was just go in and talk to the medical assistant. Now, what I can say I did run into a problem with, which by the grace of God, it turned out really good. As stated on this paper, you have to do the drug test there at the office, and you have to do the COVID test there at the office. So that in itself is $100. So that is an expectation that you go in, you know you're going to pay the $100. It's no problem. But while I was giving all of my labs, again, because you can get it faxed or you can have it in hand. Me, I'm going to have it in hand because I don't want you to be able to say, oh, we didn't receive the fax. So while I'm talking to the medical assistant, she's taking a picture of my breast, she's reading everything. I knew that my OBGYN office, for some reason, I'm not sure if it was just an overlook type of thing, but my OBGYN forgot to test the pregnancy, or forgot to give me the pregnancy test. So I ended up just like 2 days before leaving to go to Florida, I went to the urgent care by my house, and I explained to them like, hey, I'm not pregnant. I just need a pregnancy test done. I'm having cosmetic surgery. And the way their setup is that they couldn't have given me the test results before I left. So they had to get it faxed over for me. So while we're on the road to Florida, I got a call from urgent care. Her name was Melissa. She was really sweet. She called me. She said, hey, the labs are back. We faxed them over. You're good to go. So the day of pre-op, I'm in there, and they didn't get a fax for my pregnancy test. So now that's like, okay, well, you've already come this far, you've already spent all this money. I'm either gonna have to pay to get another pregnancy test, or I'm gonna fight to get this fax sent over because I know that I've already done it. I was told that it was sent over. So unfortunately, the day that I was at the pre-op, the woman that I spoke with, Melissa, prior, she wasn't at work, so it was just a hassle. I had to call like 3 times. They said that the fax machine was busy, and I can understand because there's a million people in this office there for the same reason you are, to get medical clearance, to get all these labs done. So their fax line is probably going crazy, and I'm freaking out because I'm like, well, if you're saying you're sending it, we're not getting it. Like, what do you expect me to do? So my medical assistant was really cool about it. She's like, well, do you have anyone at home that can like run to urgent care to pick up the paperwork, and they can just email it to us? And if you know me, you know my grandma is my heart, and my grandma is TTG. And when I say TTG, I mean trained to go, because she was hopping in her car on the way to urgent care to go get that paperwork so her baby could get her boobs done. Like, I love my grandma to death. But they ended up getting the fax, which it made me so happy because I was just so frustrated that I was told it was sent over. I'm sitting here like, going through this process. You paid all this money, and now you need this one piece of paperwork, something that is good to go. I know I'm not pregnant. And so that was frustrating, but my medical assistant made it very easy for me. I got cleared for surgery. And so after you get cleared for surgery, the day at pre-op, because it is a possibility that you can come in, you're doing all your labs there, and they may say your EKG is not okay, we can't clear you. Or they may say your medical clearance is not, it's not up to par, so you can't have surgery. I did see several girls. One was because of her EKG, another was because of her drug test, and another was because of her medical clearance that their surgery was postponed. So I couldn't imagine being in that situation. You're all excited, you're expecting to have surgery, and it doesn't happen. So if you go to this surgery center, just be prepared, have all of your ducks in a row, because they will cancel your surgery. And I don't even think they will refund you. I think you can get a refund, but you have to like write in for it. Some crazy mess. Regardless, so once I got cleared for surgery, I was given this paper, which is just pre-op instructions. So what this is, it's just instructions of what I was able to do, what I was not able to do, leading up to my surgery the next day. So a lot of people automatically, that you have to fast when you are having any type of surgery or procedure. You can't eat and I didn't know, but you can't chew gum, you can't even drink water, no coffee, none of that. And I don't smoke, but it says no cigarette, so that was like a shocker to me. Another thing is it says no lotions, perfumes, deodorant, powder, hair products, makeup, or aftershave. Number 4 on here, it just says shave your private areas if you're doing any BBLs. That didn't apply to me. But it does show for number 5 to shower with antibacterial soap. Now me, I use antibacterial soap anyway. I use Dial. That's just, I got piercings, belly, nipples, so I just got accustomed to making sure those are clean, that I just use Dial soap anyway. And it just says loose fitting clothes. I'll show you guys what I wore, which just was this loose fitting, I don't know, I call it like hammer time jumpsuit. It was really comfortable. They recommend for you to either wear a nightgown, something that zips up in the front, or something that you can easily like pull over, which is something that I had. And then other than that, it just says no nail polish or acrylics. I don't know if you guys follow me on IG or remember, but I had my tiny short nails, which were Disney themed because we did go to Disney on Christmas Eve. So I was okay. My medical assistant said, yeah, you're fine. They're short enough. We don't care about the color, but nails like these would not be acceptable. So if you are planning to have surgery, just be aware you cannot have nails. And then everything else is just you have to have a companion. They will not take you back for surgery if you don't have someone there to drop you off. When I got dropped off, they went ahead and gave Isha my prescriptions, which I was freaking out because my surgery was actually an evening surgery. So I was like panicking, like, well, what if a pharmacy is not open? How am I going to be in pain? So they did help me out there, and they gave Isha my prescriptions prior to her dropping me off. So by the time she picked me up, I had my pain medicine, I had my muscle relaxer, I had my nausea medicine, I had my antibiotics. So they do give that to your companion when you're getting dropped off. So that is just your pre-op instructions, and I feel like that's pretty like self-explanatory. Everything with the pre-op, like I said, went kind of smooth when it came down to preparing for surgery. Now the day of surgery, like I said, I had an evening time surgery, which was a little bizarre to me. I had never heard of a surgery being scheduled at 10 o'clock at night, and I was kind of like freaked out a little bit, like, what do you mean? You feel me? So they ended up calling me, and I ended up coming in earlier for surgery. And the day of surgery, you do your drug test, all of that. You get your IV going, and you're back in your room. You're waiting 30 minutes. You put your compression socks on, and you're pretty much just waiting for the anesthesiologist to come back and take you. Now, I don't remember anything. I remember them taking me to the table, and I remember him saying, I'll see you in a little bit, and waking up in recovery and it feeling like someone was standing on my chest. And I don't know why, but I have this problem where anytime that, because I've had surgery before, not cosmetic, but I've had surgery, I've been under anesthesia. So anytime that I'm under anesthesia and I wake up, I don't know why, but I cry. I don't know why, but I cry like a little baby. And this time I remember I was crying because I said I wanted to see my son. And I don't know why, because he eggy and I'm just playing. But yes, I cry when I wake up from anesthesia, which is crazy. So I just remember waking up and touching my boobs, and the nurse was like, Mommy, you just got them done. You can't touch them. And I had completely forgot. Like, I didn't even realize where I was. Like, the anesthesia knocks you out and you just forget everything. So I feel like recovery, they could have handled it a little bit better. My number one thing, regardless of anything, I do not like to be in pain. I am all about pain management and pain control. And I feel like while I was waiting in the recovery center, they could have done a little bit better with managing my pain. You're seeing it's like 3 other girls lined up next to you, and we're all moaning and screaming in pain and crying. And I just feel like they could have done a little bit better in regards to, pain management. But everyone's different. I know that they do this often. They do this every day. So I try to just think about it like that. Like, I'm 1 to 1,000 patients. So that would be another thing, is that recovery was a little bit tough. The first day when Isha picked me up, I had already had pain medicine because I had obviously a baby 9 months ago. So I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I doped up in the car, and I have a video of just me just being in so much pain. Just imagine going from little old me, a 32A, to now I'm a full B, almost a C, and I'm in excruciating pain. Like it was worse than labor. Now that I have a kid, I can compare it to labor, and I can honestly say that me pushing my baby out was way better than the pain that I felt after recovery. So the other question that you guys asked, as far as like what kind of implants did I get? So I got silicone implants. You have 2 options. You can get saline, which is obviously like water, and you would assume that would be the better route. However, silicone are gummy-like. It's a gummy-like texture, so it feels very natural. And saline is a lot cheaper than silicone. Saline, I think you could get it for $2,500, and I'm pretty sure you could catch it on a deal and maybe pay $1,500. So most people would think like, oh, that's cheap, I'm gonna get that. However, it's more likely to rupture with saline. So I got silicone only because I wanted it to be very natural. I wanted it to have that, gummy. And when I say gummy, like when you squeeze them, like I want them to feel natural. So I did get saline. Now on the day of surgery, your doctor will come in, he'll talk to you, he'll ask you, what are you looking for? And so he measures you. And my right breast was significantly smaller than my left breast. So I automatically went in. I knew that I did not want to go above anything over 385 cc. So I got 385 cc in my left, but because my right one was so much smaller, he had to go to 415 cc in this one, obviously to make them even. Now, to explain why my right breast is way smaller, when I breastfed my son, this was the boob that he latched onto. So it made a lot of sense on why he had to go a little bit higher in this one. Even knowing that he went higher, they're still super natural. They are still super even. So I'm really happy with the results. And what I thought was pretty cool is that they give you these little cards for your actual breast. And what this is an identification card for the actual implants in your breast. And so it's a tracker, so if anything ever happens, I have a lifetime warranty on my boobs. And it just pretty much explains what I just said. Like this right here shows 385 in my right, or excuse me, in my left, and 415 in my right. So I'm assuming that Natrel is the brand of the silicone implant. And this is just an identification card. So they advised me to keep this with me, like in your wallet, as if you would do your ID, just in case anything happens, like get in a car accident, God forbid, knock on wood. And they know what's inside of me. So I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't know that I would receive that. And then this is also just paperwork on your boobs. So if anything happens, I have a lifetime warranty on my boobs, and I guess the company will replace it. I don't know. But yeah, other than that, y'all, I am not trying to make this video long. I can talk all day because I love to give advice. I love to walk people through these type of things. I love not being the guinea pig, but I like to do it first to kind of feel it out so I can come back and say, okay, I'm gonna show y'all how to do it. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys have any questions, feel free. You can comment below. You can DM me on Instagram. I'll put my Instagram name here for you. But yeah, other than that, I'll just show you the reveal of what they look like. I wish I could show you guys like everything, but I can't do that obviously. But this is the reveal. So this is how big I went. What they tell you to do is to have some type of bra that zips in the front, only because I'm assuming to keep them together. Like I said, I'm supposed to be wearing the band. I need to be wearing that for the first 3 weeks, and I've been kind of slacking on it. But everything else, they look good. Even with the scarring, I don't know if you guys can see it, I'm still a little bruised, but this is what the scar looks like, which I am pretty pleased. I can't imagine how he got 385 cc in this little old cut. This is what the other one looks like. I had another post-op appointment on when was it, Thursday, with the doctor down here who removed the suture. It was like a suture right here and right here, but those are the scars, and I'm like pretty pleased. Like I said, I'm still a little bruised here, but other than that, they look good. I was able to put my nipple rings back in today, and that just gave me the little boost of confidence that not confidence because I look good anyway, but I just, like, I'm really pleased with the results, and I would recommend anybody to have surgery. All I say is, you know, make sure you do your research, have you a good support system. You're gonna need help, you can't do it alone, and do it for you. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. Do it for you. If you want to have surgery. And that's all I got to say. I'm willing to answer any other questions. These are just the questions that came to mind. I just wanted to kind of walk you guys through the process of how it was being an out-of-town patient. Excuse me. And again, if you have any other questions, feel free to comment below. And I just thank you guys so much for coming with me on this journey. This is the reason why I started or finally created the YouTube page, is to let you guys know my experience. And I just can't believe it feels like a full circle moment that I'm finally here talking about it with you guys. Like, I'm done, I'm healed. I'm just really overall pleased, and I'm humbled, and I hope that you all enjoyed it, and I look forward to taking you all along on my next journey. I have a lot of other things planned, and yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Tuning back in. What?
Why you wait till I leave out and turn the TV down? You know that shit.